Yo, yo, what is good, my boys, yo? Wednesday, February 10th, football season has officially ended. The offseason has begun. We have to get into this. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. We're going to be talking about Super Bowl streakers. We're going to be talking about offseason that's coming up because it's crazy. And I have the perfect opening topic of, is Tom Brady really the GOAT? Now, somebody here said he isn't, and we're going to hear him out before we, try to kill him. So stay tuned to see who that was. Then we'll transition into the NBA, just talk Knicks, because the Knicks made a pretty good deal for Derick Rose. We'll give our takes. I know somebody thought it was good, somebody wasn't crazy about it, but maybe after seeing D-Rose play last night, maybe he had a change of heart. And Ethan, we'll be hearing from you a little bit about your Thunder. We'll be talking about the East and West and just the biggest news that we've been seeing the last few days now in the NBA.
A lot of news to go over.
Facts. So let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yo, is Tom Brady really the GOAT? Now let me clarify this, because I know people gonna hear this and be like, yo, this dude don't know football. Why am I subscribing to this to hear somebody that don't know? I'm saying the GOAT. Because to me personally, the GOAT, like the GOAT, the person on top of the world, is somebody like Michael Jordan. Like, yo, Michael Jordan changed the game of basketball. He changed, like, culture. He changed the way people look at basketball. Like, yo, everybody who grew up said, yo, I want to play like Jordan. I want to be like Jordan. Like
Mike. If I could be like Mike. I wanna be like Mike. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike. Oh, be like Mike. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike.
I don't know. Like, personally, I feel like Tom Brady is a GOAT. Like, he's definitely up there, but I don't feel like he's that, like, the stamp of football. Because, so here's my biggest argument. Sure, Tom Brady has championships, but if that's the case, Michael Jordan shouldn't be the GOAT then. Bill Russell should be the GOAT, because homie won 11 chips in 13 seasons. Like, that is insanity. And that is pure dominance.
Yeah.
Another argument I have, too, is when in the hell have you ever heard a kid say, yo, when I grow up, I want to play like Tom Brady? Like, no one says that. Everybody says I want to win like Tom Brady, but that's a given. Like, you're an athlete. You're playing to win. You're not playing just to say, yeah, I'm playing just to play. Like, nobody makes it to the league saying, I'm just playing the sport to play the sport. Like, you just want it that much. So, personally, I don't think he's the GOAT. I think he's a GOAT, and I don't know if you guys agree with me or maybe have a different take on it.
Chris, you want to start off? I'm curious to see your opinion on this.
Like, I kind of understand. He's not – I don't know. It's hard, though, bro. I mean, as of yesterday, he's got more championships than Jordan, or as of Sunday. I mean, he's gone to more, Super Bowls than Jordan has gone finals, or is it equal now at 10?
Nah, he's gone to more.
No, he's got more.
6.
I don't know. And I feel like he's fought adversity just as much as Jordan. A lot of people just kind of thump over that whole section where Brady won his first Super Bowl to, like, when he got 3, 4, 5. There was a good, 10-year gap where the Patriots sucked hot dick. So, I mean, he has faced his good, fair adversity, but I do see the culture thing. I do see the people recognizing him as a GOAT, but you got to put him in the talks or at least equal him to Michael Jordan. So I kind of see him the same. In low-key, I still see – and this is me, prior to this year, I hated Tom Brady, but he took the Bucs to the Super Bowl, so I guess I can't hate him anymore. I can't hate him by default, like everybody else does. So, but per se, I mean, nah, man, you can't, I feel like you can't discount him as the GOAT. He has to – it just depends on how you view sports, I guess you would say. Because he definitely can be marked as the GOAT after winning 7 rings.
Word, Ethan?
So, breaking it down, because you was talking about Michael Jordan in basketball. When we look at basketball, we think we go by players, not positions. So, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. We already know because it didn't matter his position. In football, I feel like it's different. Like, we see Randy Moss, and we already know you got Moss. And we know the culture he changed because he was one of the best wide receivers. So giving it to like Tom Brady's position, in my opinion, he is the GOAT, but it's hard to say in the NFL. Like when you look at him, is he the GOAT forever? But
Yeah.
I see like 20 years further down, they're gonna talk about Tom Brady, which in my opinion makes him the GOAT because he's gonna be the best QB to ever do it with 7 rings.
And to kind of to back you up on that too, I feel like football is one of those sports that like there's always a new better versus like basketball. I mean, it's hard for I don't know. I really don't know why, because you would think football would be this way, but basketball there tends to always be a new person in front. Like for one little bit, it was Steph Curry. Now it's or it used to be LeBron it was LeBron, Steph Curry. Now it's back LeBron. Like there's always someone different in front that is chasing that title GOAT. Versus like in football, these guys are GOATs for like 10 years, and then another kid comes out like Patrick Mahomes is going to come out in 10 years, win 5 fucking Super Bowl championships, and now he's the GOAT. Because you think about guys like Jim Brown, you think about like Joe Montana, you think of Dan Marino, and all these guys were the GOAT at their time until another guy comes and just, wins another 5 championships, 4 championships, whatever it is. So I feel like that happens more in football, which is kind of weird because you would think it'd happen in basketball with less guys playing. So, but that's how I feel like I see things. I don't know if you guys agree with me, disagree.
Nah, I agree. I think what makes it hard for me now is like because everybody's expecting Mahomes to take that throne, and then you see Mahomes with plays like we saw on Sunday, yo. And like I said, even though that might be the greatest non-touchdown play to ever go down in the NFL, dog. Like
Mahomes got it away, incomplete. White knocks it down. It was intended for Darrell Williams. He was parallel to the ground when he threw it. That's unbelievable. And get it there, and it actually hits him.
He threw that ball like he was playing baseball, and I was like, yo, there's no way in hell that he's hitting somebody like that. He's just throwing this in the air. It's going to sail into the end zone. Yo, it hit somebody straight in their face. Like, when you see plays like that, I'm like, you see, those are the things that make you a GOAT. Like, Jordan had plays like that nobody could do. We're just like, yo, like, how? How does he do this? And that's my argument. I don't know. Maybe you put Tom Brady. Like I feel like going back to what Ethan said. I feel like in football you have to really go by position in a sense because like you got Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and so many different wide receivers you can put at the wide receiver position, running back. I feel like they should just do it like that. Just be like, yo, Tom Brady's the GOAT of quarterbacks, and just if they want to do it like that, all right, cool. But like still, like I said, I feel like there's still little arguments in there that make me kind of like,
So going to like what you're saying, like the way Mahomes is changing the game right now for NFL, you're saying like give it 10 years, and let's say like he changes the sport entirely, like people throwing no look passes and all these crazy stuff, and you don't think he's like a GOAT per se?
No, he's the GOAT, not a GOAT. He's the GOAT for that. If he wins chips, though, like if he wins the chips, because if he doesn't win chips, then that don't help his argument. But like when I think of GOAT, like I said, it's got to be a generational talent that just changes the way that the game is played for like a long stretch. Because if we want to talk like realistically, in my opinion, the real GOAT, but he's not going to get this credit, is Michael Vick. Because Michael Vick is like one of those people that changed the game of football, and if it wasn't for him, getting caught up in dogfighting and maybe winning a chip or two, everybody would give him a little more credit. But because of him getting arrested, not playing for a while, coming back, not being the strongest like that, like I feel like he's overlooked. And if he could have won at least a chip or two, people would talk about him a little bit differently. Because now you're seeing everybody play the way Michael Vick played. So now everybody would start asking, is he really the GOAT because he changed the way football is? So that's kind of the way I look at it in a sense. Like,
no, I definitely understand you there because that is true. A lot of guys like that do get overlooked in that sense to the fact that they have changed the game per se. And I feel like that's why when kind of shifting back to basketball, they look at Curry as a GOAT because Curry changed, pretty much the way basketball's played. Because basketball now is played, behind the three-point line, which, 10 years ago, that was not a thing. you weren't a good player if all you were doing was shooting from the three. Like, so I definitely understand you on that.
Word. Ethan, anything else you want to add?
I mean, going to the Michael Vick, honestly, here's the reason why, like, one of the reasons why I love football, too, because he was the one that changed the running style. I mean, he had Tony Gonzalez, one of the best tight ends ever, and they were just fun to watch. And just like Michael Jordan in the 90s, he was just so fun to watch. So I feel like, again, the GOAT topic, change the culture. That's what it comes down to.
Word.
Yeah.
So, speaking of changing culture, let's go into the game because I didn't mention that play. Let's talk game now. Who in the hell? I know Chris expected a little bit of a landslide, and Chris and I
I said it. I said it.
You didn't think it was gonna be that. You didn't expect it to be that bad.
I had said, what was it, 38-17 or something like that.
Yeah, you said
I had
something.
said something to that matter. So I know the Bucs were gonna put up points. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all it was either gonna be the Bucs put up points or they put up no points at all. So
I mean,
and they put up points.
I agreed with you on that part. I was like, if the Bucs can come out and play clean, they might be all right.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, let's get into this little by little. Like I said, I feel like the Chiefs shot themselves in the foot more than the Bucs wowed me in the Super Bowl.
They wowed me, sir.
Leonard Fournette, I'm gonna give him credit. Leonard Fournette wowed me, and so did Todd Bowles defensively.
Yo,
Todd Bowles, that was
so
breaking
you
my heart.
telling me Tom Brady, 21 for 29 with 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, didn't wow you?
Honestly,
you lucky I don't got a pillow next to me, okay?
Only because like it's Tom Brady and like we're used to him having big performances. I felt
That's
like
true.
it was like but yeah, I deserve his credit though. You're right.
And I mean, in comparison to Mahomes, he was 26 for 49 with 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
And he had to run for 500 scramble yards before the throw.
Yeah. And yeah, so.
I mean, like I said, like I told you that day, Chris, the thing that got me excited about the Chiefs was, you gave up your first 3 touchdowns you gave up all came on big penalties that were questionable penalties. Some of them were obvious, but I think the one that kind of got me tight was the one with Tyrann Mathieu. I'm like,
okay. A lot of people are saying that too, but there's a saying that goes, you play as you're getting refereed. So, like, if you see that they are calling every single hold on you, why do you continue to put, you're holding hands after the 5-yard line, after they cross 5 yards? Like, stop. They've already called it to you on 3-4 times, 3-4 different occasions, and you continue to do it, and you think they're just going to stop because you complain?
You know who I blame for that, though? The coaching. The coaching should have picked up on it and said, yo, guys,
don't hold them, push them, or, get in their face. You don't got to, necessarily your hands shouldn't be inside of their shoulder pads, like, or around them, like, that's kind of their fault too. Because I would get it if it was called 2-3 times, and then at the end, it stopped, and by the fourth quarter, it wasn't a thing. By the third or fourth quarter, it was still a thing. They were still complaining about it. There was people still talking about it. Like, that shouldn't have been an issue in a Super Bowl game. That's like some college football stuff. You're trying to teach these kids things. Like, I should have been. As an NFL player, I think you got to adjust to things like that.
So, quick question: the field goal, when they were about to attempt the field goal, what happened that moment that it was a flag? They had the
offsides.
Offsides, which he was clearly offsides. They had curved the ends in, and that's why he got so close to almost blocking it. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it like I said, I blame the coaching honestly because Patrick Mahomes played his heart out. He did what he had to do.
Yeah.
They weren't even like getting him blocks at some point. Like used the running backs to chip him off. You saw Tyreek Hill. They showed replays of him being double covered, and I'm watching the replays. And I'm like, why are you running him into the double coverage when I see the whole other side of the field open? Just have him slant to that hole because no one's keeping up with Tyreek Hill. Like, that's not happening. And then on the short plays they were giving to Tyreek Hill, he was bursting downfield by himself. So I'm like, yo, really? Like, yeah, what? Like, you can't adjust? Like, this is Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. Like, everybody's praising y'all. And in the big game, y'all just shit the bed completely.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of to shift to the other side too. My brain just escaped the thought that I was just going to say.
Todd Bowles, defense, offense on the Bucs.
Oh, defense. There we go. So I wanted to bring the attention to the Bucs defense at this point. Forget Tom Brady. I think the MVP should have gone to that Bucs defense because that
Not a doubt.
defensive line by themselves won them the chip.
Bro.
Just almost every single play, constant pressure,
You-
which means they didn't have to bring down that safety. They could have kept that safety up, doubling Hill, which made an extremely big impact because no other receiver was catching the ball. Even when Mahomes got it to them, they couldn't catch the ball for whatever reason. And, you got an extra safety for the middle for Travis, too. So you can flip that either way. And
You don't understand how heartbroken I was watching Todd Bowles coach the shit out of that Bucs defense. I was like, yo, I watched this 2 years ago with the Jets. I remember I told Ethan, I don't know why we're going to fire this dude when you're giving him a bunch of old people who are injured. And I'm glad he won his chip. But, he did his thing. And I was like, thankfully, he could be a coach again. But I don't know if he would be a coach again because he's just an awesome defensive coordinator, dog. Like, I saw so many players that were just on the Jets. I'm just like, but that's in the past. Shout out to Todd Bowles for winning that chip. Ethan, any other thing you want to add to that game or any other complaints you had, anything you saw?
First thing, I gotta bring up that defense. That defense had been one of the most impressive Super Bowl defenses I've ever seen. I mean, 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions to Patrick Mahomes. That's we didn't think it was gonna happen. We thought at least a touchdown.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you bet on a Hill touchdown anytime, so.
And we got nothing. Like, people that bet Patrick Mahomes no touchdowns probably won thousands.
Yeah. You said the guy. There was a guy that put $1,000 on it. He ended up winning like 87,000 or something like that. That he wouldn't score any touchdowns.
0 touchdowns. Crazy. Like, you have to be on some next level stats and know like you get
either that or you gotta have enough money to just take the risk to the point where you're like, yo, $1,000 won't bother me. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be. That's insane. That's insane to me. And we gotta talk about the Tyreek Hill, Andrew Winfrey, right in his face, taunting with that payback.
That was a fact. And honestly, I think he deserved it because he does it to people all the time. Yeah. So I thought it was funny.
When I saw that, I was like, yo, nothing you can do about that. You backflipped on them and you torched them for 300 yards. They're going to remember that.
It's crazy because I saw pictures now of them at the parade and he's throwing up the whole time. I was like, all right, bro. Don't kill it now. Don't kill the joke now.
Don't kill the joke. When they play you next year, you're going to remember that and be like, yo, Andy Reid, I'm going off for 400 yards. I don't care. Give me the ball.
So, yeah. But, I mean, didn't we have a bet?
Oh, we did. I'd have to do one of these episodes in my boxers outside for the opening. So I'll pre-record it.
How about we do something different?
What you want?
Just go ahead and do the rest of the podcast with in your boxers. Go ahead, do your thing.
Oh man.
You don't got to get a change in front of us now.
I have to show that the pants is coming down. All right. Well, I feel some mean breeze on these hairy ass legs, but it is what it is.
Show us them hairy ass legs, boy. Damn, you can knit a sweater with them thick ass hairs, boy.
But
sir, why is your jersey still on?
you said my pants. That was it.
Underwear jersey isn't part of it. You could still. That's okay. You put it on. You can take it off. Come on.
It's a lot harder to take this off.
We'll wait. There's no problem. We'll wait. You might have to take off your headphones.
I was about to say. I'm getting some crazy news. I was about to say.
He thought he was gonna get away with his loss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the ones?
Anyways, back to the episode. So, thank God I turned the heater on before, because this would have been a rough episode.
Thank God I remembered halfway throughout the episode. You'd have been the whole episode without a shirt. But...
Oh no, I was gonna do it outside, put it in for one of the episodes and just say yo outside by myself, and then we transition into me saying yo to y'all. But you know,
But this is funnier.
yeah, you improvise. I like it.
Wow.
But
And
anyways,
it does involve you getting an ammonia. So,
but
anyways, can we talk? What are we gonna talk? Knicks basketball next?
I actually wanted to ask you guys if you guys want to do very, very early Super Bowl predictions for next year.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
I got Brady for the back-to-back. Who you got?
I got a sleeper out here. Y'all gonna look at me like I'm crazy. I'm gonna wait to see what happens with the Bucs re-signings before this is like my official next year. But right now, I'm gonna say Rams and Chiefs.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rams too. Not gonna lie.
With Stafford?
I think Stafford helps that offense win 2-3 more games, and he could be a little bit better than Jared Goff. That defense is good enough to carry them a little bit, and you know, Stafford.
They got the weapons. They got the weapons. Now with Cam Akers in the backfield, figuring it out. They got good wideouts. I could see it.
But like I said, depends on if the Bucs can re-sign the key pieces of that defense before I stay with that.
Yeah. Which I think they are, because most of those guys are rookies. So most.
Word. So you got the same thing, Rams Chiefs, or are you changing it up?
Honestly, the same as I think, because I don't see the Chiefs not competing, of course.
Oh, not
Especially after
yet.
this year.
And you know Mahomes gonna be fueled up after throwing no touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Oof.
So yeah, my two picks, like I said, Rams Chiefs, and depending on what the Bucs do, it could be a run back of Bucs Chiefs.
Interesting.
Hey, AP said he would sign with the Bucs. So
Oh God, here we go. You think Leonard Fournette stays?
I think so, bro. They imagine you got cut from a team, almost one of the worst teams in football. This team gives you a chance, and then you win a Super Bowl. You tell me you're not going, unless you're just greedy for the money, and you go wherever the money.
Because I was about to
goes.
say, I don't know. He won a ship already. Maybe he want to get some money because he hasn't gotten a real big contract yet, and I don't think the Bucs financially can give super huge contracts out like that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Especially after his performance in the playoffs, somebody gonna be like, "Yo, we were gonna sign you last year, but we didn't. We just waited on it."
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think he stays. But I think his contract may be a little weird if he stays because they only gonna give him like a 4 year deal, and I feel like once that 4 year deal is done, I think no more Leonard Fournette. But I know that's harsh to say, but I feel like if these running backs don't get big deals, bro, there's so many running backs coming out of college that he may be irrelevant. You know, not every running back is AP. So,
Word. Let's see what happens with that, and then I think it's gonna be one of the craziest off seasons we've seen in a while. Cause we got quarterbacks that are gonna be moved like day trades, on Robinhood. That shit gonna be crazy. Like you got
Yeah.
Carson Wentz.
Yep.
They're announcing might be moved. Sam Darnold, Deshaun Watson. You already saw Goff and Stafford get traded. Anyone else I'm missing out? Jacoby Brissett.
Trubisky. Who knows what the Bears are doing?
The Saints, if they're going to keep Winston.
Yeah. So a lot. Everybody don't know what they're doing to QBs. Dan Rogers saying we don't know what the hell is happening in the NFL.
You got Russell Wilson, who out of the blue just said, "Yo, I'm getting tight of getting cracked every game. Y'all blowing my body to the ground, and I'm not liking this." So,
Only thing we do know is that Chris's favorite player, Daniel Jones, is staying on the Giants. It's okay.
that was the only news that's come out, that Daniel Jones is for sure staying. And I'm like,
That's it.
I want to pass up on this opportunity right now to get, Russell Wilson and all the other guys to be my guest. But,
yeah. Especially when Russell Wilson literally just said yesterday that he's frustrated where he's at. So
you got to at least call them, bro. Like, at least. I feel like the
Yeah.
Giants got to at least call. Like, if I hear they called about the Seahawks, cool. If y'all not calling nobody because you have the faith in Daniel Jones to that point, I'm scared for the Giants.
I'm very scared as well. So let's see.
But, we're going to see what this offseason brings. It's going to be a crazy offseason for us. So we're definitely going to have to be making sure we on our stuff and watching all that out. But let's transition to what you want to talk about.
Before we move on, though, who do you think Russell Wilson goes to if he leaves?
I don't think he's leaving. I think he's just trying to put the pressure on the Seahawks.
I think he leaves, but I think he's not a savage, so he won't push the buttons like most players do. But I think he leaves. He just leaves quietly.
I mean, if I had to say he leaves, the Colts. I think because the Colts are a team that everybody's saying might go for Sam Darnold, but they might say, "Yo, screw Sam Darnold. We got we got a defense that could win right now. Let's go for Russell Wilson. Like we saw what he could do with a good defense. Why not bring him here?" And you got T.Y. Hilton, you got Michael Pittman, you got Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, and maybe you could bring back Marlon Mack if he decides he wants to stay with you after the Achilles tear. But
Yeah.
they got options out here.
That's a fact.
You were gonna say something? My bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like these QBs want a good defense. Like they're sick of these defenses giving up 20, 30 points. And they have to throw up a shootout every game. Like it's frustrating.
That's true.
Word. So I mean, especially after seeing what happened with Brady, that a good defense clearly helps you more than a star-powered offense.
Facts.
Sure.
Next year, calling it most improved player, Daniel Jones.
I hope you're not putting money on that. You're gonna lose a lot of money.
I'm gonna say Chase Young. I'm gonna feel like Chase Young is about to be a star next year.
Okay. But Chase Young was already kind of a star this year until he got
I
hurt.
mean, even as that's true. But like, I thought he would take it top level. Like he's gonna bring it up a notch.
Depending on what the Jets do, I think Denzel Mims might be most improved, and depending what happens with receivers, because he was pretty good for the Jets this year. He just started off hurt like the first 9 weeks. So if you can give him a competent quarterback, and with his size, he might do some damage next year, and people will maybe notice that and be like, "All right, here you go,
You got it. You got it.
you got that."
Question though, we're gonna talk NBA next, right? Because
Yes.
I just saw something come up on my phone. I thought I'd bring it up.
Mavericks.
Yeah. Did you guys see that? I didn't know there were 9 games in a row not playing the national anthem. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep.
So
And the NBA said all teams will play the national anthem the day after Mark Cuban says, "Man, stop playing it." So
that's crazy.
let's see what happens with that. Maybe
There
spark
is,
something up.
there is one thing I have noticed living here in Dallas. He is the man around here. He is like next to God.
He's the godfather.
Of Dallas, yes. He's literally everywhere, and everybody talks about him, and it's kind of weird per se, but yeah. Continue on.
Nah, Chris, let's get into this. Derick Rose, bro. Derick Rose came back to the Knicks. The Knicks got him for a bag of chips and a Snapple. Depending which one's better to you, the second-round pick that we traded is probably that better item because we traded away Dennis Smith Jr., who we sent to the G League. So you traded away a G Leaguer and a mid-round, second-round pick. So I ain't too mad about it. My thing with the Derick Rose trade originally was I do not want to give a Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox, or anything crazy for Derick Rose. And
yeah, I mean,
not in our favor.
That is literally the only – how can you say – that's the only reason why I'm not too upset about it. But it still kind of makes me upset because that second rounder could have been somebody for the future. But at the end of the day, if he can play well, like, we saw last night, I feel like he can take them, at least to the playoffs this year. And if he can take them to the playoffs this year, well, not take them, but help them get into the playoffs this year, then mission accomplished. I mean, you can't really ask for anything else out of him. I mean, I don't even know what his contract looks like. You know what his contract looks like?
He's done after this year.
So, you think they're going to re-sign him?
Depends.
Maybe.
Because my thing with the Knicks is he can be a backup point guard because he's shown that he's willing to be a backup point guard. So I wouldn't mind having him as a backup, especially if he helps the development of Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin because he came in off rip and he had a nasty no-look pass off the pick and roll to Obi Toppin. So
yeah.
If he could unlock Obi Toppin a little bit more in that second rotation, help Emmanuel Quickly, because he already told him, like, yo, I'm like your big brothers. Like, if y'all need anything, hit me up. Here's my number. Like, he took him out to dinner and shit the first night. And last night, he didn't even participate in shoot-around or practice or nothing, and he looked as good as he did already. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to re-sign him for, like, a 1-2 year deal and just keep him like that off the bench and See what happens, especially because you know a lot of teams are interested in him for trade. So maybe you could trade him out if you re-sign him.
That's a fact.
Ethan, outside looking in, how you feel about that trade?
Honestly, I love the trade of getting Derick Rose, but I feel like you're kind of messing up Quickly's development because you're not going to get as much minutes as he's supposed to. Still have Payton unless you get rid of Payton. And unless they play the 2 and the 1, they switch it back and forth, that'll be like my only thing.
That's how they ran it last night. They put Quickly at the 2 and Derick Rose at the 1 because Quickly in college played the 2 a little bit.
And I would keep it that way because Payton got to ride the bench because I'm sorry. He can't – I mean, he's good, but, like, I wouldn't see him as the future of the Knicks.
I think to add on to that, I do think they're going to trade Elfrid Payton soon. I think the reason they went for Derick Rose is because they have somebody that's been calling about Payton, and they're like, okay, let's see if we can get Derick Rose before we trade. And then – because last thing you want to do is trade away Payton and think you're getting Derick Rose, and then you don't get Derick Rose, and you're like – Dennis Smith Jr., come on, buddy. Come in. Like, nah, I think they wanted to get Derick Rose first, and now that they have Derick Rose and quickly, they'll be like, all right, we're gonna slowly see if we can find somebody for Payton.
Yeah. That's the only thing. But other than that, D-Rose, Quickly, Randall, RJ, and Mitch, like that's an amazing quality starting five.
If they go that route, because he's staying with Bullock because of Bullock's defense, and he did torch the Heat on – what day was that? Sunday. He was like 7 for like 14 from 3. He had like 6 in the first half and then just cooled off. So I mean, you know, I'm not mad about the Bullock stuff, but like you said, as long as it don't hurt Quickly's development, then I'm all for it. Ethan, how you feel about the Thunder, bro? Because the Thunder, it's been crazy watching you guys. Like the fact that you guys have been winning games, have been keeping it close with like the Lakers. How you feeling about all this?
I'm so confused. Like, I don't know how we're keeping up with these teams. Like, we're keeping up with contenders. And not even, like, blowouts. It was just one blowout against the Nets. And it's just with Shaw. Just young players and Shaw. That's all we have. George Hill is out. Al Horford's playing like a star somehow. Like he was in the Hawks. And Shaw's just killing him. And I can't be any more happier with the development, but we need these draft picks. We just – trade. We got to figure something out because I don't know what's going on.
I mean, you guys have all them draft picks, and luckily you guys are winning games because the last 2 years we've seen that standings don't really matter when it comes to the lottery anymore. So
they don't.
Obviously.
So let me just pull up these standings real quick, and we could talk a little bit more about everything as a whole. Because like I said, I've become a Dallas Mavericks fan the last few weeks. Now that the Knicks have that first round pick, and I've been keeping tabs on them hard, and that pick is looking real nice.
While you pull it up, I got a question: is the Jazz like that? Because they had them ranked at number 2 in the power rankings.
No,
they're not like that.
They are not like that. I know what's gonna happen, and we all know what's gonna happen. If they come playoff time, they could maybe get into the second round, depending who they play, but. Depending who they play, it ain't going to be pretty. That's just my opinion. I don't know if y'all agree with that or if y'all think I'm bugging for that, but
Nah, I agree. I don't think they're entirely like that. They're just off in the season left, but we'll see.
So here we go. This is why they're up there, Ethan. 20-5, 1 game ahead of the Lakers, 3 games ahead of the Clippers, and 5 games ahead of the Suns.
That's insane.
That is insane.
That might be one of the biggest shockers this season. But I think the biggest shocker to me is Minnesota, 6-18. I know they've been dealing with a lot of stuff. You know, Karl Anthony Towns has been out with COVID. D'Lo was out for a good majority at the beginning of the year, and now they got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, it's 6-18. God damn. 10-13.
And the Mavericks are 11-14. Let's talk about that because, like I said, the Knicks own that pick. You think Dallas is getting into these playoffs?
Yeah, they're only 2 games behind. Just to get in the playoffs.
I don't know, man. Like, if you look at the bottom of this league, like the West, I don't see where they could sneak in. I really don't, because I feel like Memphis is a team that can F around, beat them if they play each other. The Rockets is debatable. The Pelicans is debatable. The Kings, I feel like, will probably beat the Mavericks. And Golden State is just on off right now, and the Nuggets. So, I mean, between those teams, that block is insane. Like, I don't know.
This whole West is insane. From Dallas and up, I see anybody making it from. I want to say
Facts.
6 and under.
Even Oklahoma, bro. Even Oklahoma could sneak
Like,
in.
It's scary looking at the West.
It's funny because you look at the West and the Mavericks are 11-14, and then you scroll up, you see the Knicks at 11-15, they're ninth. Like, the East is so trash. But speaking of trash, the Pistons are 6-18 now after beating the Brooklyn Nets last night. The Nets have been looking mighty basura. They have a 3-game losing streak. So, panic button time or too early to say? What's your opinion on this?
Too early. Got
Too
no
early?
KD, no
Really?
Kyrie. No, just way too early.
I don't know. I think Brooklyn has to be a little concerned because now that I'm looking at it without KD, they look really confused out there without KD the last few games. And then on top of that, you take KD coming back, and it's going to be like, all right, so now you're going to have to integrate him back in and see how they adjust. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not fully sold. I don't know. I still don't know about Brooklyn.
Like, the thing that's killing me is the 118.4 points they gave it up. Looking at the other teams, that is insane.
118 points given up, bro. That is insanity. And the
Like,
only
that's-
team that's worse is the Wizards at 120.
And they're down there for a reason. But the Nets, they're lucky they have the star power to get those points to even it out.
Yeah, 121. But then you look at Milwaukee, and they get 121, but they only give up 111 points. So what happens with Brooklyn when they play Milwaukee or even the Sixers? I mean, the Sixers get 114 points per game, but they were playing without Seth Curry, and he's been brick cold since COVID. But they only give up 110 points. So, or the Celtics, yo, I'm telling you, there's some concerning things that Brooklyn really got to look at. And defense is the biggest thing if they think they're going to win this chip.
100%
Nice.
agreed.
Something else I want to bring up: the Heat. You guys think they're going to be able to climb back in, or you think it's slow for them at 10-14? I know they got everybody back now. You know, they had Bam Adebayo last night. They had Jimmy Butler again. You know, they're coming back together. You think that which team would probably fall out if they were to get in between the Raptors, Hawks, and Hornets?
That's kind of hard. I would even put the Pacers in there too.
Word. All right, less than a minute, so let's try to just give one team real quick.
Hornets. I
Hey,
don't know
I'm
why
saying
they're
Hornets. Yeah, I was literally thinking Hornets, but I don't know. So
I got the Hawks. I think the Hawks are gonna crash and burn at some point.
let's
But-
see.
With that said, guys, great episode. Great fact that I'm great air I'm getting through my body right now. I'm loving the air circulation. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with a
All
sneaker
right.
review. So until then, peace out.
there. Peace.